Welcome again guys. I'd like to welcome you to the second video of this tutorial series on Android application development with Kotlin. In the last video we talked about building a simple application where I taught you about creating your layout file, introducing you to various other files like manifest or Kotlin class and others resources files that I showed you yesterday. But today I'm going to talk about something called activity lifecycle. I've already told you that each and every Android application must have an activity at the base. So implementing an activity means any simple class, any simple Java class or Kotlin class extending this base class here, app compat activity. Now once you extend app compat activity, you inherit every property of app compat activity too. So I'd like to talk to you about what are those components, and basically I'd like to teach you about 7 different life cycle of an Android application. So without any further delay, let's go ahead. As I've already told you, there are 7 different life cycle of any Android activity, and I also told you in the first video that the first method or the first function of your life cycle is always an onCreate function. Now for now I'd like to remove these, or maybe comment this out and write everything from the beginning. Suppose you have this class, or maybe I'll also remove this one. Okay, suppose you have a simple class, just a Kotlin class called main activity. Now in order to convert this class into an activity class, what you need to do is you need to extend app compat activity here. So just hit app compat activity and it's done. Now once you inherit app compat activity class, you also inherit all of its properties. So the first function that I'd like to show you, or the first function of your life cycle whenever an activity runs, is always an onCreate function. In the onCreate function, you basically mention what layout file or which layout file is associated with this Kotlin class. Like we did in the first video, the main layout of this Kotlin class was .layout.activity_main. Okay, so this was the first life cycle function of activity. I'm also going to place a log here so that we can analyze these results in our logcat also, which function runs and which function does not. So this is OnCreate, and I'd like to write started, or maybe called. The second function, whether you define it or not, is an onStart function. Among these 7 lifecycle functions, the other 6 lifecycle functions are always running. The first function onCreate, you always have to define this, because without this you cannot associate your layout file here. But the other 6 lifecycle functions, regardless of you defining it or not, they're also always running on the background. If you want to make use of them for certain properties, then yes, you need to define it and then implement it as per your requirements. So I'm again going to keep a log here just to see the results later on start called. The third function is an onResume function. Similarly, I'll keep a log.e onResume and called. The fourth function I'd like to introduce you is OnPause. So again we're going to do log.e onPause. I'll tell you when this onPause function will run or when it will be called. The next function is OnStop log.a OnStop called. The other function is onRestart. Again, I'd like to place log onRestart called. Finally, an onDestroy. Again, a log. Okay, I'm not going to do anything else here. I'll just run with these 7 lifecycle methods. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 methods. Okay, now I'll be running your application, and I'll also show you my logcat. So my phone is already connected. As you can see, the logcat going out. I'll only do show only selected application, and I'll just put only on, and I've done everything on log.a, so I'll just go to error. Okay, so now let's go and see this and run this out. Let the Gradle build and let everything start. Okay, as you can see, my application had started here in my phone, and you see that the first function that runs is always an OnCreate function with a layout here. The second function that runs together with OnCreate is OnStart function, and the third function that runs is an OnResume function. Regardless of you defining this or not, these OnStart and OnResume function are going to be called anyway. Okay, so now what I'm doing with my phone is I am taking my application to the background. Okay, or I'm just pressing a home screen here. So let me press the home button here. Okay, as you can see, as soon as I press the home button or take the application to the background, the OnPause function is called, and also the OnStop function is called here. This could be an interruption in your application. Whenever you're running your application, you suddenly get a phone call, then your dialer application comes forward, and then your main application that has been running on your phone goes on the background. So if you need to save, maybe if you were playing a game and then you were on certain stage of the game, then once your application is interrupted, you immediately want your stage to be saved so that you can resume the application and then play from that stage. So that kind of things are defined using, or the states are saved using OnPause and OnStop method. Now I'm going to resume my application back. Okay, so as soon as I resume my application back, you can see here the first function that runs is onRestart, the second function that runs is OnStart, and the third function that runs is OnResume. So the OnCreate function is not called again. The OnCreate function is only called once when the application starts. Okay, not when it resumes. Only the OnStart and OnResume get recalled once the application is resumed from the background, or it's restored from the background. And now for the final method, once I close this application completely, as you can see, once I close this application or close this application or shut down this application, the onDestroy method is called. So these are the 7 lifecycle methods of Android activity. If you want to save your state, whenever you're getting an interruption, you use your OnPause and OnStop functions. If you want to fix up your layout whenever you're starting your application, you use your OnCreate function. If you want to do something else, maybe call an API once your application has started, and also you would like to update your screen once your application is resumed from the background, then yes, you could use OnStart or OnResume, or maybe OnRestart, OnStart or OnResume. And once you completely want to shut down the application, kill all the processes that has been running together with the application, maybe your background services or maybe some kind of other services that's been going on, and if you want to delete it, you just define it on destroy and kill everything. Okay, so guys, thank you for listening. Hopefully you've understood what I tried to explain you about activity lifecycle. In the upcoming video, I'm going to talk to you something about r.java file. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and then if you have any problem or any queries, please comment down below. See you in the next video. Bye bye.